Hi, everybody. Happy Friday. I'm really excited you joined me today for another Facebook Live broadcast. I'm not sure if anything happened this week. I don't know. Was there anything in the news that might have been exciting or interesting? What captured your attention? You can certainly type it in the comments. I think that despite the horrific tragedies that have occurred in the past few weeks, that the past week was full of hope and inspiring stories. And I've been reading a lot of stories about women and people of color and LGBTQ candidates who won their elections and are going on to fight for social justice. And I think nonprofits everywhere should be very excited about that. So what I wanted to talk about today, I wanted to talk about Giving Tuesday. But before I do that, I did want to say that my fellow social media nerd, Josh Hirsch, is not with me today. He's taking the day off to do some fatherhood stuff. It's probably nice and warm where he is in West Palm Beach. Certainly not warm here in Boston, Massachusetts, where it gets dark at 4:30 p.m. and I'm already ready for bed at 5 p.m. So if that's your reality, let me know. If it's warm where you are, let me know. Just whatever you do, let me know where you're watching from. Also, if you don't know who I am, if this is your first time with me, my name is Julia Campbell, and I try to go live, 2-3 times a month, Fridays at noon. I help nonprofits build movements and engage online communities using storytelling and social media. So it's just me today. There won't be fancy graphics. There probably won't be things flying across the screen because I'm not as tech savvy as Josh is. But I will try to include links as much as I can if I refer to something, if I refer to a resource or a tool. And I also go back and monitor the comments and questions afterwards. Tracy says hi. Hi, Tracy. And Jamie says cold and rainy in Maryland. Yeah, it's not really rainy here, but it's just dark and gray. It's basically like, I just told my friend last night, I am not warm from November through April. And yet we still live here. I'm not really sure why we live here. So during the live broadcast, I know Jim. Hi, Jim. I know you're in sunny warm Fort Lauderdale. I know, it's amazing. I know we just like to complain all the time. Massachusetts, though, is amazing because we did really, really great in our election. We did elect a Republican governor, but that's fine. He's really, he's a Massachusetts Republican. And also we reelected Elizabeth Warren and we had some amazing amendments that went through. So yay, Massachusetts, there are some good things. And of course, the Red Sox just won the World Series. So come on now. And the Patriots are well on their way as well. So there's some good things about living here. If you have questions during the live broadcast, please put them in. I'm going to do my best to monitor them. Oh my goodness, it's -10 somewhere. Oh my gosh, I'm not looking forward to that weather. Rosemary says Long Island, New York, tuning in from Vermont, same gloominess here. Vermont also got a Republican governor. What the heck is up with that? I don't know. And Jim says go Sox. Yes, Red Sox, they're amazing. So I also want to let you know that I'm going to write a recap of this entire session. I usually take 10 pages of notes, and I always write a blog recap of the whatever resources that I've mentioned, and I fill it in with some examples and usually screenshots of what I'm talking about. I also have other resources available at my blog. If you go to my blog and you just look up Giving Tuesday, you'll see tons of other detailed blog posts on everything from how to do Facebook fundraising on Giving Tuesday, how to create buzz, how to use social media, how to, build storytelling ambassadors on Giving Tuesday, that kind of thing. So make sure you check that out. Hartford and wet and windy in Cornwall, UK. Yay, that's exciting that we got someone from the UK. All right, hi, Nikki. Okay, so let me take this off the screen. So one more thing before we start, I have my Ruth Bader Ginsburg collar on. We're all praying for her quick recovery. I think she's still in the hospital. She fell, if you don't know, broke 3 ribs, went home because, she's 85, broke 3 ribs and was like, whatever, I don't care. Then she started feeling bad and she had to go back to the hospital for observation. So she is a tough lady, but let's all think about her. And I'm also wearing a brand new present that I got from my friend Aurelia, my Wonder Woman cuff. So yeah, just wanted to share those with you today because that's kind of the spirit of where I'm coming from today. All right. So as you know, Giving Tuesday is right around the corner. So if you are planning on running a Giving Tuesday campaign, let me know in the comments. And if you want to share a link to it, that's great. If you want to share your goal, whatever your goal is for 2018, that's great. If you want to share a graphic, anything that you have, we would love to see it. And I know that that's something that a lot of my clients frequently ask. They want examples from other nonprofits in the field doing this work and seeing what they're doing. So please let me know if you're going to run a Giving Tuesday campaign. The problem is that, we spend so much time focused on donor acquisition. How can we leverage Facebook? How can we leverage social media? How can we wring more money out of our donors? How can we raise more money on Giving Tuesday? And we don't focus enough on what happens on November 28th. What do we do with all these donors? What do we do at the end of all of this craziness? We certainly don't take the day off. And I know a lot of you would love to take the Wednesday off, and maybe you work from home in your pajamas with, binge watching something, but you do have to have a plan in place for stewarding these new donors. Molly says we're doing a longer concerted year-end campaign. Okay, sometimes Giving Tuesday is a kickoff to that, and that's great. Nikki says same as you. Jamie says we'd like to. We'd love graphic examples. Cindy says I want to, but unfortunately I don't have a plan. That's why I started following you and why I'm here. Cindy, you got to get started. What's the date today? November 9th? Okay, get started. Go to my blog, download all my free resources. Go to givingtuesday.org, download their social media toolkit and checklist. You got to get started today. I've talked a lot about campaign planning, but today I'm talking about donor retention. So the main points that I want to make today before I get to the 3 ideas of how to, retain your donors and surprise and delight them is we know what donors want. Okay. They keep telling us, we keep doing studies on what they want. We keep ignoring them. So I'm going to post a resource on my blog and in the comments, the National Donor Commitment Study by Donor Voice. And it's going to give you several insights. But just to say, Rosemary says, yay, they're doing Giving Tuesday. Sarah says we're running an exciting Giving Tuesday campaign this year. We are a small nonprofit working to end homelessness. We're going to live stream a home makeover all day. The home makeover is for a family who's recently moved from homelessness to a new home. That's amazing. I'm interested, first of all, to see that. So I really want you to send me the link. Also, I'm interested to know if you're going to be raising money live while you do it. Like, are you going to have the donate button on your live video? If it's on Facebook, which I'm kind of assuming it is, but it might not be. So that's amazing. Sarah, I want to hear all about that. That's awesome. And good luck to you. Sounds like something you're going to do. So why do donors give again? These are the reasons that were found in the National Donor Commitment Study by Donor Voice, right? And we know these, but why do we ignore them? I don't know why. The organization is perceived to be effective. The donor knows what to expect with each interaction. The donor receives a timely thank you. The donor feels like they're part of an important cause. The donor feels that their involvement is appropriate. The donor receives information showing who and what is being helped. If you can tick all of those boxes in your donor communications, you are going to be way ahead of the pack. So think about a plan to tick those boxes and a plan to communicate that information to your no donors. Okay. Also, Sarah says we'll be raising money live. Oh, that's amazing. That's really exciting. I'm really excited to watch that. I'm going to have like 7 screens and 55 phones on Giving Tuesday because there's so many awesome campaigns that I want to follow. Okay, so 3 quick ideas for ways that you can surprise and delight your Giving Tuesday donors, bring them into the fold on a shoestring budget. Number 1, I really love this idea because I don't see it very much. Surprise them with a personalized video. So the example that I always show is, of course, Charity Water, which you're all rolling your eyes and saying, oh, Charity Water. But what they did was so grassroots and so doable for any organization of any size. So I'm willing to bet if you're a smaller organization, you don't have millions of donors, like you're able to make a personalized video for some or maybe all of your donors on Giving Tuesday. Maybe you just want to make a personalized video for your new donors. So Giving Tuesday, Charity Water on their 5th birthday, they brought staff members, volunteers together, and each staff member, each volunteer made a series of like 10-second, 20-second thank you videos where they wore wigs and they wore costumes and they threw glitter and it was just fun and uplifting. And they thanked donors and they said, thank you so much, Julia, for raising $140 this year with your lemonade stand fundraiser. That water is going to go to XYZ, XYZ. Like if you want to get more involved, blah, blah, blah. So very, very easy. They had a little bit of a script, obviously, of what they were going to say. And then they emailed out those thank you videos. So that's the ideal. I would love to see more of that. I would love if I got a video that said, thank you, Julia. That would be amazing. Or even if I just got an email that had my name in it or a mailing that was addressed to the right person, that would be helpful. But we have smartphones. We have a video studio in our pocket. We have a laptop with a camera on it. We easily can do these kinds of videos, especially if you had planned for it during the day and if you make it part of your donor retention plan. So clearly, if you're just throwing it together at the last minute, it's not going to work. Another thing you can do, so it's sort of like a 1A, 1B, is if you're camera shy, you can create a short video with graphics and text. You can detail top 3 accomplishments of your organization in the last year. The real key is using that donor-centric language. We couldn't have done this without you. Without your support, this would not have been possible. Showing people that they're part of something bigger than themselves. They're helping to build something. And a resource that I have for you, I'm going to put it, it's called Typito. And it's been called the Canva of video. Did I spell it right? KPCOcom. So I created a couple of short videos with Typito, but I need to still edit them and do a couple more things to them. It is one of the easiest video editing platforms I've ever worked with. It is like Canva. You just drag in your headers, you drag in graphics, you drag in different stickers and that kind of thing. So make sure you check out Typito. The key is we really don't have any excuse now to not make video for our donors. Even if you can't make a personalized video for every donor, you can make a generic thank you video for all new donors talking about Giving Tuesday. You can give them updates. So use video, make a personalized video if you can do it. All right, number 2, have a special plan for your third-party donors. So your third-party donors are those people who didn't give because you asked them. They gave because a friend or family member, a person that they trust, asked them to give. So that's, their Facebook birthday fundraisers. There's a million ways, GoFundMe's. Third-party donors basically controlled Giving Tuesday, especially on Facebook last year. And I have some statistics for those nonprofits who are skeptical about Giving Tuesday and skeptical about Facebook fundraising. 15% of all donations made on Giving Tuesday last year were made on Facebook. 15%. $45 million in donations were processed on Facebook last year. These numbers are poised to just explode this year, double. Over 500,000 donors gave via Facebook fundraising tools, and 2/3 of those people had never donated via Facebook before. So these are new donors. These are people that had never given via Facebook before. What I found most surprising is that the majority, it's not surprising that the majority of donations to Facebook fundraisers on Giving Tuesday came from family and friends. But what I found surprising is that 20% of those donors gave again within 6 months via Facebook. So it's clearly something that people are comfortable doing. It's something that is exploding in popularity. But whether or not you use Facebook fundraisers, you need a plan to cultivate these third-party donors. So if you get their contact information, so say they come in from CrowdRise or Network for Good or some other peer-to-peer platform, or you're having people run fundraisers for you on another platform, maybe they come in from Facebook. However you get these third-party donations, make sure you have an email ready to go out that refers to the way that they gave, the platform that they gave, and the fundraiser that they gave to. Because studies have shown that if you do those two things, or if you do that, it does two things. One, it shows that you're paying attention, and it shows you're just not kind of lumping them in with your donors who've been giving to you for 5 years or even 3 years or have already given to you before. So sending that email that says, "Hi, Julia, thanks so much for donating to our Facebook fundraiser on Giving Tuesday." It shows me you're paying attention, but it also reminds me that someone I trust loves you. So this happens all the time to me, mostly on Facebook. I gave to my friend Melissa's birthday fundraiser for St. Jude. Why not? I support St. Jude and I love Melissa. And they sent me an email that said, "Thank you so much for supporting our Facebook fundraiser," or for supporting your friend's Facebook fundraiser. They didn't put in the name because that might be a little bit too complicated. But it reminded me, oh yeah, I did give money to St. Jude, and oh yeah, I did give via Facebook fundraiser. So, and I always click to give people my email. So that's another key. The other thing you can do is make sure that those people raising money for you, make sure that you thank them and acknowledge them deeply. You can also create a thank you video, like we talked about, send it to the people raising money for you, and encourage them to post it. It can have a call to action, encouraging those third-party donors to sign up for your email list, or to like you on Facebook, or to make some other connection with you. Because as we know, it is completely up to the person who's donating to give you their contact information. And I kind of really like that. So actually, let me take a couple of questions. Northern Alum says, I don't know what the name is, would a quick video of a staff member saying, "Thanks, Jane Doe," emailed or texted be okay? Yes, perfect. Absolutely perfect. Molly says, this is something we've been struggling with logistically. People don't always give their emails when they donate, so there isn't always a good contact for individual donors. Well, Molly and Sarah and everyone else that has this issue, good thing you asked. I have a whole diatribe on it, but I'm going to limit it to 5 seconds. Like I said, you can ask the person raising the money. So like my friend Melissa, who raised money for St. Jude's. St. Jude's posted a video in Melissa's fundraiser that said, "Thank you, everybody. If you would like to get more information and hear more stories about the great work we're doing at St. Jude's, click this link below." So you can do that. It's up to us, the donors, to decide if we want to hear from you. And if we don't want to hear from you, you guys have to let it go. You have to. If we don't want to hear from you, if we don't want communication, if we unsubscribe, if we don't check the box, then maybe at another point in time we'll be ready. But right now we're not ready. So I really would not focus on those people that don't want to hear from you. Focus on the people that do want to hear from you, and focus your communications on bringing them deeper in the fold. And also focus the majority of your time and efforts on the people raising the money for you. They raised their hand and they said, "Hey, I like what you're doing so much that I am going to raise money for you on Giving Tuesday, or I'm going to raise money on my birthday. I'm going to share this with my friends and family, put my reputation on the line here. And I like you so much that I'm going to do that. So focus on those people, and you can post thank yous and sign up links and things like that in the individual Facebook fundraisers. But I really wouldn't worry about people that don't want to hear from you. It's like Sex in the City. It's like, he's just not that into you. Like, or it's like, wait, what did Ariana Grande say? Thank you, next. Okay, bye, next. Whatever her song is that's out, that's absolutely amazing. So it's sort of like, thank you, next. And maybe they will be in the future. They're just not ready to hear from you right now, and you can't force them. All right. My number 3 tip, something that you can do that's pretty quick and easy. Well, maybe not quick, but pretty easy. Create a graphic or an infographic that details the impact of your Giving Tuesday campaign. So you'll probably have to do this actually on November 28th, or maybe midnight on the 27th, whenever you get the results in, and send it out to all of your new donors saying, this is possible because of you. We are now able to serve 300 more kids in our Christmas program. We are now able to house 40 more veterans. We are now able to hold 30 more educational programs for elementary school kids. Whatever the result is, create like a little graphic or an infographic. You could create a video, but you kind of want to mix it up, between videos and graphics and visuals and stories. You can use Canva, which is my favorite graphic design tool. You can create infographics right in Canva. Really show new donors that they were part of building something, that they're joining a movement. Use words like, thank you for joining us. Thank you for investing in a better future. Thank you. Like, use words that are inspiring. Remind people why they gave. And giving is a very emotional decision. And of course, me giving $10 to Melissa's birthday fundraiser, it wasn't very emotional. But certainly if I didn't trust the charity, and if they didn't have a compelling ask, if she didn't have a great story and St. Jude's didn't have a great story, I wouldn't have given. I would have just passed it by in my newsfeed. So think back to what inspired people to give, what inspired people to raise money for you, and give them that information back. Also, please don't ask again too soon. Don't include them and lump these new donors right back into your newsletter file. You have to give them your best. You put your best foot forward. You have to give them your best stuff and really make a good introduction. And you're still making a first impression. You're still making a first impression on a lot of these donors that might not have heard of you until Giving Tuesday, or until someone else started raising money for you on Giving Tuesday. So work on building that trust. Think of it like dating. It's up to you. You have to woo them. You have to make them fall in love with you. Not everybody will, and that's okay, because we want to focus on the people that love us, that trust us, that want to be with us, that want to hear from us, that want to donate to us. We want to build them up and deepen the bond in the relationship with them. Okay, so there you have it. You have 3 easy things that you can do to surprise and delight your donors on Giving Tuesday. And we have a few minutes, so I can talk a little bit more about Facebook fundraisers, Jamie. What I wanted to share with everyone is that I have a 90-minute webinar where I detail how to create a new donor welcome system using your website, social media, and email list. And you can sign up at charityhowto.com. I'm going to be giving it next week, and next week's the last time, November 15th. That's the last one I'm doing this year on this topic. So it's 90 minutes, all about how to create a new donor welcome system and bring new donors into the fold. So I'll share that link with you. Let me see. I will share that link with you in the comments. Okay, if you have questions, please type them in. I will stay here until, let's say, for the next 5 minutes. I would love to talk about Facebook fundraisers. I'm not sure your specific question. I think that I addressed the issue of not getting donors' contact information. It's something I'm very passionate about because I really think that raising money on Facebook, it's like the famous Hamilton quote, it's not a moment, it's a movement. It's not a trend. There's no other social media platform that is doing this kind of fundraising and has these kind of tools. YouTube now has come out with YouTube giving tools, and they're really trying to emulate what Facebook is doing. And I'm sure that's going to be a powerhouse as well. But people, they're just familiar. They're understanding, they're getting to know Facebook better. They're trusting Facebook more. People that don't trust Facebook, once again, they'll never give via Facebook. So don't worry about them. People that do give via Facebook, as we can see, 20% of those people, 75% were new donors. And then 20% of that 75% gave again in 6 months. I mean, that's pretty crazy. If you get a 20% donor retention rate, after 6 months, they make another gift. That's pretty amazing. So the key for us is just to really figure out, explore if these tools are right for us. So there's no right or wrong here. Maybe this year is not your year. Maybe you just want to look at what other people are doing. Maybe you're not ready to sign up yet, and that's fine. I'm not here to tell you to sign up, by the way. Like, I just think that the power of social media fundraising is only going to grow, and you want to make sure you're getting in on the ground floor because, like anything else, Facebook fundraising has the potential to saturate our news feed. And next year, people could get tired of it. People could be sick of it. It could be, you're probably already seeing a lot of fundraisers sprouting up. And I'm sure on Giving Tuesday, there'll be like 10 million. I know last year I counted 20 Facebook fundraisers on Giving Tuesday just from my friends. And this year, I'm willing to bet that number is going to double. So it's simply exploring these tools. Giving Tuesday is a tool, right? It's not the means to an end. And figuring out the best ways that you can use these tools to help build your house, really, to help leverage what you're already doing and enhance what you're already doing and, continue to make the world a better place. All right. Well, I will leave you there. I'll post all of these links on my blog. I hope to see you on another Facebook Friday. All right. And if you have any other questions, leave them in the comments or email me, find me on Facebook, find me on Twitter. But have a great weekend, everybody, and continue to do the awesome, amazing work that you're doing. Cheers.